How's it going, people? This is Shane with the Blue Water Battle Circuit, and this is a new series I'm going to do where I'm going to look at the Pokemon that were not drafted and explain why I think they should have been drafted, or just explain why they're good Pokemon in general. So we're going to do one Pokemon in each tier, and then this week and next week I'm going to go over two of the four Pokemon that were unbanned. So let's get right into it. So Darkrai was unbanned from the Ubers tier and was put in OU. It's a really good Pokemon. Its ability is Bad Dreams. It's a move unique to it. If a Pokemon's asleep, it cuts its HP by 1/8 every turn. Apparently that's all in gray. All right. So yeah, it cuts it 1/8. So basically that's 16% if I remember correctly. And then it also has a other unique move to it called Nightmare. That also cuts a sleeping Pokemon's health by 1/4. So if you get that setup going, you're taking away 25 plus 16. Should have did this math earlier. It was about 41%. And then also you're getting moves off too. I think part of the reason it was banned is because to put a Pokemon to sleep, why it wasn't drafted is to put a Pokemon to sleep, you need to use Dark Void. And we banned Dark Void. So you would have to use Hypnosis, which has 60% chance to put a Pokemon to sleep. So I feel like people kind of didn't want to take that chance. Also, if you look at its stats, its defense is okay, its physical tech is okay, it has a really good special tech and really good speed. But if you look at a Pokemon like Zoroark, which has a really similar special attack stat, a very similar speed stat, and a better attack stat, it kind of is a better value pick, just because it's an OU Pokemon. And they also kind of have similar moves. Darkrai does get access to moves like Ice Beam and Icy Wind, so it does overall get better coverage, but as an OU pick, there was... people just thought there was better stuff out there. So I kind of understand why Darkrai wasn't picked, just because like its niche, it falls a really weird niche of just being a dark special attacker, which there isn't too many of, but physical dark moves are better anyways, such as like Knockoff and Pursuit. Speaking of which, Tyranitar OU, this was not picked. I think because no one really drafted a sand team, which you don't need a sand team around it, but it does automatically bring out the sand. Sorry, it's late at night. But this thing is one of the best Lottie switches in the game. It takes a Pokemon out, or you just switch into a Psyshock or something, and then you go for Pursuit, and then Latias or Latios is done, which is overall is built to be a very important Pokemon to a team. So if you look at, I know Noah in the Seattle Squirts have Latios. I think the Florians have Latias. So those two Pokemon are very critical to that team. So if you take that out easily, it's really good. Well, obviously it's really good, but it takes less stress on the battle, on what's going on, because one of their best Pokemon is taken up very early. It has a really good attack stat. 134 is extremely good. Defense is really good. Special defense is also really good. Defense is good. The only thing that lacks is a good speed stat, which when your other 5 stats are extremely good, you can kind of live with. And it's typing ×4 a week, which is a very common type, is most likely why it wasn't picked. Calder is an extremely good Pokemon. It's not as great as it was back in Gen 5 with the Fury introduction, but it's still a really good Pokemon. It has a 140 attack, and then the rest of its stats are barely average or highly under average, other than its HP stat. It has really good abilities. Guts is extremely good. Sheer Force is extremely good. It doesn't get the best use out of it, other than like elemental punches and such. And then Iron Fist, which boosts its fist moves, which it gets almost every punch move, if I'm not mistaken. It gets Drain Punch, it gets the elemental punches. So this Pokemon's really good. It's Part of its speed stat being really bad, and if you want it to take special attacks, you have to have the assault vest on. So that means you're only running that item every week, or you're running like Mach Punch and maybe leftovers or choice banded. So it's good at what it does. It's just it's not very, what's the word, there's not much you can do with it. It's a physical attacker. You might be able to like sweep if you wear stuff down with like choice band and Mach Punch, or you're chipping away at stuff with like Iron Fist, Assault Vest. Next is Ambipom from the RU tier. Overall, I felt like everyone did really good in the RU tier. There's not like one Pokemon I was like, that definitely should have been drafted. Ambipom was more of it just there was better Pokemon out there. Not saying that it's bad, but overall I felt like we did get the best Pokemon from that tier. What Ambipom's best known for at the moment is Technician Fake Out. Fake Out basically gives you a free turn of chipping away like 20% or like 10% from Pokemon. So that might be the difference between you taking it out or not. Its stats are not the best, but it's not garbage either. 100 attack is decent for an RU Pokemon. 115 speed is really good for that tier. Its defenses are really bad, and it being weak to normal is not the worst in the world, but what are you going to do? So that's Ambipom in a nutshell. Gothitelle is probably the biggest injustice of not getting drafted. That and maybe what's coming up next is Mega Scizor. Part of why it wasn't drafted is because this thing's so good, I didn't know it was in the NU tier. I thought it was RU, and I didn't want to get rid of my picks there. So when I picked up Behem, if I knew that Gothitelle was available, I would have got that instead. And I feel like I've already used one free agent. I don't want to use another one on it, as good as it is. Part of what makes it really good is its ability Shadow Tag. So basically, you bring this Pokemon in on something that you can take out. Instead of them switching into something to counter it, you can't switch, so they're stuck in. So basically, you're getting a free kill. Or you can even, you know that that Pokemon's most likely not going to kill you, so you can set up something like Calm Minds or something, so then you can maybe sweep the rest of their team. It's also a Cleric. It can use Heal Bell, get rid of statuses on your team. It gets a really decent move pool. Energy Ball, Psychic Psyshock, Signal Beam, Shadow Ball, Thunderbolt, Standard, good Psychic move pool. So that overall, that's Gothitelle. Now let's go over its other abilities real quick. Frisk is not the best move in the world. I mean, a move ability. Sometimes knowing what your opponent's item is can help you identify the set better instead of having to like lose a Pokemon figuring it out. But overall, there is better abilities. And then competitive is pretty good. It's kind of like Defiant, except it's a special version. I think it's actually kind of better just because normally Defiant goes off because you got intimidated. So instead of getting the +2 that you would normally get, you really get +1. So that's Gothitelle. And then finally Mega Scizor. Mega Scizor is probably the best Mega that wasn't picked up. That or Mega Pinsir, which I definitely think should have been picked up. Mega Scizor is by far one of the best Megas in the game. Scizor itself really didn't need a Mega, and the fact that Scizor got one is extremely good. It has 70 HP, 150 attack, 140 defense. Special defense isn't that bad. A lot of people don't know, well, a lot of people know now, but Scizor's bulky set is actually more bulky than Skarmory. And then Bug Steel is a lot better typing than Steel Flying. It's not that much bulkier than Skarmory. They both have the same 140 defense stat. And I think Skarmory has like 65, 60 HP. But Scizor hits a lot harder and it has a way better move pool. That 65 special attack really doesn't matter. It still keeps its Technician ability, which is the same that Ambipom had. If a attack is under 60, it gets a double boost. So something like Bug Bite has 60 power, it's actually 120 because of its ability. Or something like it's really famous for is its Bullet Punch, so it gets priority, it goes first. And instead of it being 40 damage, it's 80. So you're going first, you're getting a stab 80 plus. I'll move off. Okay, so that is going to be this week's episode of, I don't know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's just me explaining Pokemon that should have been drafted. And then people that are thinking of, I'm not liking my team, but I want to use my free agents on something. This is kind of a show of some stuff that's available and kind of how to use it. So hopefully some of you guys learned something. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. And take it easy.